Welcome to The First Turn. I'm your host, Hyena, and today, Llama and I are talking about This Week in Warhammer. If you like what you hear, give us a like, comment, subscribe, or share, or let us know if there's something you'd like to hear us talk about. Alright, let's get to it.
But looking at some of these upcoming releases, they now showed that the Cathayan army models are getting their separate releases now. So is this an opportunity to convert some stuff?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to get the dragon. So they showed off Li Ming.
Yeah.
Li Ming? No, that's from Heroes of the Storm. That's what the wizard, the female sorceress's name from Diablo 3. Li Ming. Anyway, no, Miao Jing. Is that right? That sounds even worse. the Dragon Empress.
Miao Ying.
Miao Ying.
Yep.
It is Miao.
Think of cat. Yep.
Miao Ying, the two formed like dragons.
You know what I will say right away? It looks terrible on rectangles.
I know.
That's right.
I hate it.
I'm going to say it.
I do.
That thing needs to be on an oval.
Yeah.
And she needs to be on a circle.
You're not wrong.
But it is a really cool model.
It's super cool, and I want to use it in some way. I mean, maybe as part of like while Dark Elves are still part of Age of Sigmar, maybe that'll be my like sorceress on Black Dragon, something like that. Because I've include sort of a Dark Elf module in my Cities of Sigmar armies, and I hate the old Black Dragon model from Old Fantasy. It is just the weird crocodile mouth. And I do not like
the
it.
Jade Lancers, their cavalry would be a unit of 10.
I mean, it's one thing that they do with Old World is the regiment boxes are huge. Yeah, they're minimum 20 in most of them.
Well, I think it's like instead of selling them in those 5s or 10s and making you buy a ton of them like you used to have to, now it's like, no, they make a unit of 20. Here's a box of 20.
I mean, I could see getting some of those Jade Lancers, a unit of 10, and making them, Cities of Sigmar.
Oh yeah.
Cavalry, Cavaliers.
I do like me some pole arms, and they've got that.
I
too.
know. Doing the Jade Warriors as Cities of Sigmar guys too. Like any of this could be Cities of Sigmar. Like it, that looks like a great cannon to me. The Great Bombard.
Hellstorm rocket battery.
Because they've got those cannons in Cities of Sigmar too. It doesn't aesthetically fit, but you can make it close enough. I think it would work.
They gave him a decal sheet too.
Yeah, I don't know. I could use some of that. I might.
What the hell is the?
That's an old Forge World model, Forge World / resin model for Beasts of Chaos. Beasts. It's like a Praeton is like like a bat deer. Like a deer bat. I actually fought one in one of our D&D campaigns. You remember that?
Nope.
It might have been one that you ran actually.
Oh, maybe it was.
There's because we did the Dragon Horde one.
Tyranny of Dragons.
Were you running that one?
I was running Tyranny of Dragons. We got through most of book 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they released it as 2 books. Now it's one big book.
I think we wound up in like a swamp or something. There was a Praeton circling us.
That might have been.
Period-Titan. Yeah, it was Praeton. Because we did that one, and then we started a different one too. It's just a really very random tangent. What other book did you start? I remember we fought kobolds and stuff. Dragon Horde.
No, Descent to Avernus.
Descent to Avernus. Yeah.
It was one of the 9 hells that a world was descending into.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very, very classic story. I'm sure most people have actually heard of this one, or at least if you're into D&D, you've probably heard of like stories surrounding it, right? I mean, everyone probably knows what Avernus is, but the cities of Baldur's Gate and El Terrell and what was the other one that starts off in?
It started off near Baldur's Gate,
yeah. But there's like a cluster of cities in the classic, setting, and one of them gets dragged down into Avernus.
Yep.
Super cool story. We didn't get through all of it, but it was still pretty damn neat. But anyway, the Praeton is a mythical creature that is a very classic.
Well, that model looks derpy. So they did that with.
It's old.
They also did that with the Mirror Worm or whatever.
It was 30 years old.
It was like
it's and I don't know if they're saying that this old Forge World / resin model is being brought into. They're not saying it's being brought into the Jade Kingdoms, right?
So.
Is it still a Beast of Chaos?
I don't know
monster?
How they're doing these one-off, but it feels like with every Arcane Journal update, they've been like, oh, here's this old Forge World resin monster that is now playable. I don't know if they're hireable like mercenaries, if anybody can play them. So if you remember the original Warhammer Fantasy, like while they had army books,
right,
they also had lists of generic war gear and generic units that like any army could take. And so I wonder if they're going back to that. Because
Well,
that mereworm they showed off when the High Elf release came out.
And I think they're going to be part of, like, usable in the High Elf army, which is the Lothern kind of focused one, where
the sea ones.
They sail, right? There's ships and there's seafarers. So it makes sense that their dragon kinship that this version of High Elves have is the water dragons, the mereworms. If I read further, it does say that this creature is a deer spirit kind of thing of the woods that was corrupted by the Bray shamans of the beast herds, and it is the rules are in the Arcane Journal Beastmen Bray herds. So maybe they was already in there, and this is just.
But now the model's being made now. Yeah.
It's awful though. That movie, the model's so old. It's.
If you were to make your own Praeton, what would you use?
Oof. I mean, there's a couple kits that I think I would try to merge together. I mean, there's. I guess it depends on the scale works. There's a Mind Stealer Sphinx model.
Yep.
Has kind of a cat, like a feline sort of body.
It does.
I think the size of that would be right. You could graft on some wings from a kit, maybe the Demon Prince kit, or it's like a griffin kit, something with like kind of feathery wings. I mean, you kind of want it to be more like leathery. I mean, there's a couple things that could probably work. I think the Demon Prince would probably be pretty good. And the head, though, is a weird one because it's got antlers. Not much in this world has antlers anymore. But there are, like the great stag riders from the Wood Elves have deers that have
I was going to say there's 2 Underworlds war bands that have stuff with antlers.
Yes, they do.
So not big enough, though. You need big.
Yeah,
big,
I think if you did the Mind Stealer Sphinx mixed with, like, one of the stag riders from Wood Elves, mixed with maybe like the old Manticore kit. Remember the old Manticore with the Chaos Lord on it? Those wings would probably be all right.
Oh yeah, they would.
Tacking out of that.
Looks like right now these forged ones don't look good.
No, look at that face. Look at those teeth. How does the thing eat? Its teeth stick straight out from its head.
And I've got to say,
if he closed his mouth, those teeth wouldn't touch each other.
Let alone they wouldn't be able to chew anything. And I have to say, there are some Forge World faithful out there who just, as long as they've played any of the Games Workshop games, they've bought Forge World, which, A, that's more expensive than an already very expensive hobby. But B, their reasoning used to be that, like, the Forge World stuff looks so good, it feels like it's more for adults, da-da-da-da. And it's like, the more I look at their stuff, it's like, short of the few character series ones they do now, it's like, no, their plastics are infinitely better. Like,
or like some of them were here's something that actually is better than what we have, rules wise. I mean, I don't think much of it looks better.
No.
Right? Like when you had Seraphim, right? They had the Dread Saurian.
Yep.
Dread Saurian was a huge, impressive kit. It had
massive.
It had great rules. But if you look at the model up close, it's like, this model's not great.
No.
But you played it, or some people played it, or wanted to collect it because it was this big centerpiece, gigantic Goliath monster that the Seraphim just are lacking. They don't have that. You know, their biggest thing they have is a Carnosaur, and it's just
Stegodon.
The Stegodon is
Lord Croak.
I mean, like, they're still smaller than that, though. Like, the Stegodon's not actually that big of a model. It should be more. If you look at like Total War,
it's
those
huge.
kinds of monsters in Total War are enormous, and they're impressive, and they're huge. I mean, they did get the Dread Saurian in that, but like I mean, it's to the point where the Carnosaur is almost not much bigger than normal, like, monstrous cavalry anymore. Like the new kits that came out for Seraphim, for their cold ones, basically, were encroaching on the same size as that.
Yeah,
and it's like there's no scale difference anymore.
Oh, the Agrodon Riders,
yeah, the Agrodons, that's right. And so it's like they could use a big centerpiece Goliath kind of a monster.
Maybe that's coming for them. I mean, they did get a big release last time around.
Yeah. Want to go through those kits real quick? Remember what they got? They got the Chicken Rider Cavalry. Skinks riding the chickens.
Which that made multiple things.
2 kits from that. You had the Agrodons. You had a leader riding an Agrodon. You had Lord Croak. You had the new Salamander.
Yeah.
Individual Salamander.
With the little skink quarters.
You had the 2 units of Chameleon Skinks, which was a Underworlds thing, or a Warcry thing.
Yep.
Which, why the hell are those units 5 models in a unit and non-reinforceable? The box comes with 10.
Yeah.
And they're played in units of 5. That's insane to me. Sorry, little side rant. That's a really weird one. That should be like a 10-man unit up to 20 reinforceable. Make the Warcry units reinforceable. Come on.
We got the new Croxigors.
Yep.
Makes 2 units.
2 different Croxigors. I'm just pissed.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Skink Oracle on the little, the new one on the Palanquin. You had the generic Slan on the Palanquin, as well as Lord Croak.
Yeah.
In the year before that, we got Lord Croak.
Yeah, he came out in an event. Yeah.
The event where everyone got like a big impressive thing, but Order, like humans, got 2 little witch hunters. That was funny.
That's right.
That was really funny. Slanesh got the twin demons that time, I think. I think that was the same time.
Excesso, whatever.
Yeah. Am I missing one? I think I'm missing one. The Ashloth Bearer.
And they were born because of something Marathi did.
Yeah. Yeah.
When she weakened the bindings on Slanesh to harvest his power, enough of Slanesh was released that it spawned these twin demons. Yeah.
As well as new Saurus warriors.
Oh, yeah, generic Saurus warriors, brand new, and they're great.
And the Ashloth.
Yeah, the Seraphim got a massive release.
Enormous release. Yeah. But they need, they could do something else. But everyone needs something. Everything needs more. I mean, hell, even like Cities of Sigmar, I think that just came out needs more of a roster.
I think they will. I think because a human faction's one they'll.
What happens when we suspect that elves and dwarves get kicked out of cities,
which will happen,
kind of like the linchpins of that army that are meant to deal the damage and be like the specialist units are all going to get cut. Because steel helms don't do anything. Their little like gun unit that has like little hand cannons don't do anything. They're not good.
They could fix that with just writing rules though.
Stats. Yeah. But there's also like, okay, so where do you go from derpy little basically peasants wearing helmets and wielding shields and like hammers straight up to your cavalry? There's nothing in between there.
No.
Right? Like the army doesn't have anything in between there. If you cut executioners and dread spears and hammerers and you cut all those units out, you go from like basic infantry straight up to elite cavalry. The army has nothing else in between there. Yeah. There needs to be some kind of a heavy unit, a heavy infantry unit, some kind of thing. They need, I don't know, skirmishy light cavalry. They need something else in between. So like even the new army's not impervious. I think Seraphim are in a good spot, and they don't need
their roster's nice and big. And the biggest thing was that they Sigmarized so much of an army that was just carried over from fantasy, which also solidified that they were staying.
Yeah. Which I mean, and if they were going to do like Saurus Warriors, why didn't they also do Temple Guard bits in there? I don't understand that because the Temple Guard are
they still around?
Yeah. They're like 17-year-old kid.
No, but I mean, rules-wise, they still exist.
Yeah, they still exist. They're not that much better than warriors, but they're meant to bodyguard the Slan.
Maybe they will go away. Maybe they're getting Band-Aid ripped.
They might be. Yeah.
Whenever I see these models, it's like the painter in me always thinks like. So I'm trying to be in a better habit of not buying a bunch of models that just end up on the shelf in a gray pile of shame
I'm not.
That I hope to get to and don't. Yeah. And so when I saw that Cathay shard of the Nightbringer, for example, I was like, oh, man. The studio paint job, for the record, was very good. It's one of the better ones I've seen them do. But
I liked it a lot better than their Voidbringer.
Yeah. Well, but I immediately was like thinking of things I could do. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a $100+ kit. Just wait.
It'll be like a $170 kit.
Yep. Well, and at first it's going to come in a kill team thing that's going to cost a ton because you have to buy terrain with it or whatever.
Well, I was looking at the... Maybe it won't be in the box with those 2 units. It would be silly if they did. It's got to be like, here's the box of Kill Team with these 2, and here's the expansion. It's got to be. There's no way it's going to be like a $300 box.
No, I think the Nightbringer will come at first probably in a Kill Team box though. That's got like
like branded with the Kill Team box.
Like it might be like that where it's got terrain or objectives or something goofy in there that's for Kill Team, but hey, you get the Nightbringer, and so you have to buy that first before they make the 40K version. I don't know. That's the skeptic in me.
Maybe.
But so I've been looking at a lot of projects, and the reason is we're rolling up real quick already.
Yeah.
On months like October, and that is when Spiel happens in Essen, Germany. We get the second Golden Demon of the year, and some people.
Oh man, we were supposed to go to that this year.
We had some stuff fall through. It's been an okay year anyway, but
next year.
And the second Golden Demon of the year, and it's exciting because I'm starting to see people on the Instagram posting their projects for it. Some people are showing it now. Some are doing the little hints where it's a really zoomed in on something you can't really tell what it is. They even do it with a black and white filter.
I just don't... Pause. I don't think that's effective.
I don't either.
It's effective when it's a teaser from a giant company and there's like millions of people looking at it. It's not effective when it's just like, here's the project I'm working on. It's like people see it and they're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care to look at further and analyze what your little bit of your model looks like. I don't care.
Well, so I'm of two minds. You're either just show it anyway and don't care, because so miniature painting to a competition level takes time. So it's not like if someone sees you what you're doing, they're going to go then steal that idea and just beat you because it's that easy.
Replicate it and do it better than you before you can submit.
Yeah, that idea is silly. Otherwise, just keep it secret. Don't reveal anything. Make a video blog that you're recording during the time that you can release after. Like, I know I see guys like the Get Good Painting guys, Magnus and what's his name, Richard Gray. Those guys will do that where they record the process and then show it after the event.
Right.
Teasing up front though, but we're starting to see it. And you'll know because you'll see a really cool piece and they'll hashtag it Golden Demon. And so that's exciting to me, getting those juices flowing, because before you know it, we'll be back at our own in March.
We're at a book a freaking hotel for it already.
Yeah, this is the earliest they've ever opened up that block.
Yeah.
And so there's that, but it is giving me a lot of ideas. And so I'm starting to sketch out, like I'm actually doing that where I'm sketching on paper, even though I'm not that good at drawing anymore, and writing out plans for how I'm going to make something. I think that's better. For me, it'll be better than just winging it or working on random pieces and wondering which one's going well enough to consider for it. Have a goal, have a focus. So I'm trying that. Won't reveal yet what I'm working on. 2 pieces I'm looking at. But that's always really inspired me. I don't know if you've seen any in particular that you've liked. There's one going around where someone did a crab dreadnought. That was like Saturnine. That was really that's making the rounds.
I think if I were to look at the kits that were involved with that, it was the Doom Crawler from AdMech was the base of it.
Oh, okay, sure.
And then it was like, I don't even think it was the Saturnine Dreadnought. It looked like a Leviathan torso. Maybe it was the Saturnine. Maybe it was a Saturnine Dreadnought. But it also had like vice claws, like big metal vice claws. Yeah. And so like it was a really funny, really cool project that someone had set up, but it was almost like 2 identifiably different kits. Like I could see the shapes and see the kits that went into it. I like my favorite conversions are when you just cannot tell where it was sourced, what it's from. I'm really liking how people are converting the Saturnine Dreadnought into Nemesis Dread Knights. I'm really liking those ones, because when you leave off a lot of the shoulder pads and stuff from that Dreadnought, it does not. It's like it is not recognizably that same model.
Well, one thing I can say. So I remember when they debuted, or rather they previewed, because that's where it happened, right? I remember when they previewed before they came out the Saturnine pattern Terminators,
right?
And it's funny as they became a meme. Now, some people recalled, just like with the original Games Workshop logo, some people recalled that this was not new. This was something from a really old version, like Rogue Trader era, when Space Marines were just human with weird armor. So that's what they harken back to. And as you and I have talked about, they've been tipping the nostalgia cap, bringing old stuff back, but then showing what they can do now with their technology. People memed it. People said they hated it, the Saturnine pattern. I think some numbers were showing that this box set is possibly the most successful box set since the launch of like Leviathan, the 10th Ed 40K. And I have never seen more content covering a single unit than these Saturnine Terminators.
I love them.
I think they're great.
I've always liked the old pattern of Terminators better than the Beetleback, like current ones, the Badger face ones. I don't think the Saturnine were ever my favorite, because they were always the previous version of them, because of technology, because of art style, always looked really goofy.
They did.
They were like, their shoulder pads were 4 feet tall, and their body was only 5 feet tall.
And they looked like they were just shrugging. Like,
and they were enormous, and it was just kind of silly looking.
Yeah.
These models evoke the shapes, and they evoke the style of those models, but they do it in a much more like realistic way.
Yeah.
I love these models. But again, they're not my favorite Terminators.
I
like the Cataphractii Terminators. I think they were super cool with like the Roman epaulets and stuff.
They need an update though.
They do. Those ones need to be updated. But I always liked the Tartaros, which were like the precursors to the current
eggshell ones.
The eggshell. I always loved those ones, and they came out with those, and it was like, these look great. But I don't think they went ornate enough with either of or like any of the releases prior to this.
Nope. They
have really started amping up the Horus Heresy, like with this last. I think it was started last edition. where they started actually introducing tons.
Well, they did it with the Praetors, which had loads.
When Horus Ascended came
yeah,
out,
yep.
That era
That was
is when they started showing like, oh, they're really upping the filigree and the design elements of, the archaic Space Marine armor.
Because it was supposed to show, even though it's during the heresy, it was supposed to show the Imperium's technology and, to a degree, their excess.
Maybe even just their resources were
resources
much higher.
During the Crusade, when they were unified and everything was rich and the technology's progressing. Like Perturabo had a moment during the Horus Heresy books where he's sitting on a ship lamenting how much he missed the Crusade era because, like, inventiveness, like ingenuity, coming up with brand new tech. They had the unlimited resources to do it, and so that's how you ended up with like some of the siege tanks and the Typhon. And like anyway, these evoke that.
Right.
Where Vulcan took a Terminator pattern army and was like, hey, here's how we can implement this thing that's like a force field for them and lets them teleport. And I tell you what, every single person on Instagram or on YouTube who posts something about the Saturnine, no matter if it looks from basic tabletop up to really, I watch it. I watch it because this is incredible, and people memed on it so hard when it was first revealed, and it's like, this is one of the most successful product launches they've had, because people are just crushing this stuff, and everyone's getting them.
Well, I think one of the biggest successes they had, too, was just the fact they made these kits so modular.
Yeah.
They gave them ball joints again that are hidden in the
under all those layers of armor,
armor. So it's like, while Leviathan and the one after, was it just Leviathan?
Leviathan was 10. That was 40K10.
Before Leviathan. Whatever. The Leviathan's the one that has all the new Terminators, right?
It had new Terminators, new Tyranids. Yeah.
That box, while as cool as it was to have new Terminators, they're all monopose, right?
And their standalone kit, I don't think they are, though.
There's no customizability in those ones. But this is a starter box. This is
a starter box, yep.
And they're like, we're giving you full models.
Yeah.
Full customizability. You can pose these guys however you want. You give them whatever.
Not only that, the weapon options on them, yeah.
So all of that, I think, is what made people so excited. Because I can only, like, how many biologists can I look at that are the exact same pose, pistol out, holding a canister? Like, there's no...
Yeah.
There's no variance in that model
to
be able to keep it interesting. Whereas I've seen every single Legion's, Terminator Praetor. I've seen conversions for all of them, and they all look good.
Yeah.
So I think that was what the success was. Is there's so much posability and so much modular,
and
so much character.
And the way they designed the detail of them, it lends itself to a million things. So I've seen people doing factory fresh versions, fresh off the Crusade armory, all the way to oil washes that are gritty and grimdark, and it's like every one of them, like, yep, that looks good.
Swaps and weapons that aren't from the kit being added to it. It's great. I saw one that was an Iron Hands one that had a hammer that was very much like Ferris's, where it was like gears on the back, but like flat forge hammer on the front. Like, it's just like, this is so good.
A really common one I've seen is the Iron Warriors to do the hazard stripes, because that's part of their Legion iconography. Yeah, I've seen so many. And then I think when you give a kit that is, dare I say, plain in terms of neutral, flat spaces with just enough detail, that gives the hobbyist so much room. Whereas if you pre-sculpt a bunch of atmosphere, like if those Canoptic Scarabs would have been forcefully intertwined with the Nightbringer, I think that would have been annoying.
Right.
Now you're limited, or you have to do a lot of cutting and sculpting. Whereas, and sometimes they do that. Sometimes the atmosphere's too sculpted in and you can't fix it. This, though, where they leave that as an option with these kind of kits, that's way better.
Yep.
I love that so much
100%.
better.
100%.
And I've seen people do everything from they leave the Aquila on and make it work, or they just shave it because it's really thin and you can just with a knife clean it down to the bare and then now do what you want on there. This kit, to me, I haven't gotten my hands on them yet to play with any, but I think it's one of their most successful product. Just the Terminators. One of the most successful things ever. Like Mark II Marines, whatever, that are scaled correct. They did that with the Mark VI, the Beakies already. Marines are Marines. But these Saturnine things, the Dreadnoughts, or the Dreadnought, the Terminators, and the Praetor, what an incredible release. They look great.
Completely
Love that.
agree.
Do you have any ideas to Raven Guard them up? I saw a really cool one.
I know they had that one finished on their actual site with the community paints, and it was really good.
They did the clean white and black, but with the purple glow everywhere. That was really nice.
I don't know if I even like the idea of doing big, heavy Terminators in my Raven Guard style army. I'm not.
You don't think they'd have them?
I'm sure they had them.
Yep.
It's not their focus. You know,
Nope.
When they give me my like Well, look at me, my thing. When they start doing units of like infiltrator units of the because we had like the sniper death squad.
Yep.
If they start doing similar to how they had that, remember that Alpha Legion character that had that like 20-foot long rifle.
Yep.
Something like that. They use units with like big long sniper rifles and stuff like that. Terror troops with lightning claws. Like that, and it's like that. Now we're talking.
Well, they might get to that soon. I mean, they've released now so many across all legions plastic kits.
Right.
That you have to figure some of the specialist ones are going to start coming out.
Right.
Now, those aren't as popular typically because now only a subset of people are buying them.
Maybe 4 or 5 of the 20 legions actually utilize them regularly, or can like lore wise justify having them.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
but if they do it to where these kits are modular, then people might buy them and convert them anyway.
Yep.
Because some legions have overlap. So when we talk about what the Raven Guard do, stealth, utilizing the shadows, strategic strikes, maybe not in numbers.
Yeah.
Well, like Night Lords and Alpha Legion both kind of do that,
right?
And so you could have 3 legions there where people can.
Ultramarines do everything.
Ultramarines do everything. Yep.
I can see Blood Angels having some of that stuff too.
Theirs is more direct, but yeah.
Right. I mean, so like when I'm thinking of my Raven Guard, I'm thinking of maybe 4 or 5 kits that I could really use. Like new Tartaros Terminators is what I would absolutely do because they're sleek. They're like stealthier Terminators. Because they're like smaller a little. I would do new Tartaros. That would be amazing. Any kind of jump pack unit, whether it's claws or they have a Devastator unit that's double pistols.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Which
100%.
Both of those also fit Corvus himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know, like a Breacher unit I could see clearing buildings. And
they showed us plastic Breachers are coming, didn't they?
I think so.
I don't think they're out yet, but they're coming.
But kind of like city fighting within like the buildings and stuff, and while you need to like quickly clear the buildings. Clearing a building with a shield, probably pretty effective.
Oh, yeah.
And then like any kind of like kind of stealthier scout unit, whether it's sniper rifles or like tactical equipped armor, whether it's like ghillie suits and camo cloaks, anything with that, I could absolutely see as well.
So when you're doing your black for your Raven Guard, and yours are predominantly 40K era,
mm-hmm.
But if we're in the 40K, I guess this would apply too. It was like, what way do you lean the black? Because black, it's funny. It's like to make black visually interesting on a miniature, you have to make it like non-black, and so there's a lot of ways to do it. You see some that just go with the cold slate gray, but there's also a warm gray brown.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I don't think either of those fit.
Raven Guard,
to me, that screams the monochrome gray black white is basically Iron Hands.
Well, but Iron Hands always have like the oil slick.
I know, but that's modern Iron Hands.
Yeah.
I feel like old Iron Hands were still just black white. They were more classic.
When Forge World did those old Gorgon Terminators, they did the
dirtied
oil,
them up
but
big time.
But regardless, when I think of, so I go a couple ways. And in the Horus Heresy or the Crusade era, it's different because so many of the legions were gray or black.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dark Angels were black, and like
them too. You're right, black and white. Yep.
And Word Bearers were actually a dark gray, and then the crimson started showing up in like shoulder pads and iconography. But so many of them were neutral color because I imagine when they came out, it was like, you're all Marines. But so it's like, how do you distinguish them when just doing black? And you're right, because those two at least, Raven Guard and Iron Hands, both do black and white. So how do you make them look different? So for your Raven Guard, I lean
to the blue.
The blue. So do you go Incubi Darkness? So more turquoise, jade, blue, or do you go more blue, pastel-y blue, ultramarine, but like?
No, I went up to the Fenrisian gray, blue. Okay. That method, yeah.
Sky cloud gray blue. Yeah.
So it's a little blue tint. I think my initial highlights for laying in like where I want them to be were the Incubi kind of darkness. Because that like that sea green kind of green blue is just so good for starting as a starting point.
Well, and that color goes. It also so what's funny is it's an opaque-ish color, but transparent enough that over black it doesn't eat the black.
Right.
But then you can highlight off of it in 2 different ways. Yeah. That's really neat.
Yeah, that's the way I go with that. I mean, like I've tried doing the black white thing before, but without doing enough like high contrast black and white, it ends up looking gray. When you try to blend, it just turns it like it reads as gray.
Yep.
There was a video I remember watching on, it might have been the original Horus model, where they were doing NMM in a very small spots on like cables and stuff that were black, and it was basically black straight into white.
Yep.
No blending, black into white, and it read as black so effectively that it's like you kind of have to go that route if you want to keep it black, because as soon as you start introducing gray, you're not black anymore.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Which is why we lean into the browns. Because a brown reads as black better than black and white. Like brown and gray does.
Well, and
it's
where I've
weird.
seen people use it effectively, if you're going to contrast cold and warm, for example, is I've seen people who've have done a Raven Guard. It was on the Shrike model, the current one we have.
Yeah.
And then I saw someone do it with their Death Watch, another black chapter, with Death Watch Scouts for Kill Team. And they do the black base, and they go up through that very light cloud wolf gray. So it's just a touch of blue at the top end, but cold. And then in the shadows, they would lean into, so on the Chimera paint side, it would be royal brown from the expansion set. But for people more familiar with the Citadel paints, it would be like Rhinoxy hide.
Sure.
And that deep red brown, rich brown in the shadows. And for some reason, that actually made the black look more black when that was in the shadow. And that red-brown contrast against a cold blue really well anyway, but you're using so little of them that the whole thing still reads black, but it made the black look more black.
Because I think, it tricks the eye into thinking that you're black, but you're reflecting.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, in the shadows, you're reflecting not the sky, which is bright,
yeah.
but just reflecting the ground, which is dirty and brown. Whereas, like, on the upper highlights, you're like, there's bits of sky
overcast
reflecting here.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks bluish, but really, underneath that reflection that you're seeing, which is the blue, it's black under there. I can tell.
Yep.
My brain is determining that's black under there.
And it makes it visually so much more interesting because black. It's funny.
A lot of extra work.
It is extra work, but it's funny as black is a color that whichever brand you use coats so well, and it should be a simple part of miniature painting, but you risk it just looking wholly uninteresting unless you do something with it. But you're right, if you occupy too much of the light plane with another color, then it stops being black.
Yep.
So that's a delicate balance. Maybe we'll do a video showing how to make your black interesting. But
I would actually think that's a really good idea. And especially if we can give a few different examples, maybe on the same kind of a boot, or a same gauntlet or a shoulder pad or something. Multiple of them in different kinds of black to show like what can be done and still read as black, and then maybe some of the pitfalls of trying to do black and doing too much or not doing enough, and how that turns out. Let us know if you'd like to see that, because that's something we can do.
In that example, which went pretty viral and then ended up on the Warcom site, that guy who did a Saturnine Terminator as Raven Guard, the first few waves of pictures that were sent out, if you looked, the black armor actually had none of the highlighting or anything on it yet. It was the fact that the white, which was really a gray white that then was highlighted up to white, and then the purple OSL and the
well, it was also the old like steel
kind
of trim too. Really made the black look really good.
And the black looked great without having done anything yet. Now he eventually went back and did the black, and it looks great. But that's just it.
But I mean, like, you can kind of see it when you look at box art when they do black. The issue with the heavy metal style, not to say it's bad.
No, it's really good.
That.
Yeah,
it's effective. It's very, very good. It's very hard to pull off in a very clean way. But their paint jobs that they do, classically. I mean, there are examples of plenty of paint jobs where they go way above and beyond.
Especially with centerpieces now. Yeah.
But their paint style is meant to be effective from 360-degree angles.
Correct.
Right. Every way you look at it, it's supposed to be effective.
Kind of. Yeah, it's supposed to look kind of the same.
And so you see like think about like on the thigh of a Space Marine, they've got those like vents in that plate.
Yep.
There's like 3 of them. They're like ovals, more like pill shaped.
Yep.
You'll look at those and you'll see around the entire rim of the pill is the same like light blue
thin
highlight.
edge highlight. Yep.
And around the panel, it's the same thickness, the same concentration of paint along every panel of every single armor plate on the armor.
Yep.
And it's like you're basically you've painted inside of the box, and then you're changing the line color so that the boxes are distinct from one another.
Correct.
That's basically what they're doing. I mean, if you're thinking about it in terms of like coloring books, because that's a good way to do it. Is if you've got black lines on something that's black and you color all the boxes black, it's like, well, now I can't see it.
Now there's no
You
distinguishing
need
the parts.
to either leave a gap between the lines, or you need to change the line color.
Yep.
And then when your black is there, the white pops out, and you can see the different boxes. It's basically that. You're highlighting every single box so they stand out from one another and they don't blend together.
Yeah, one tip I could advise people for doing black is pick contrasting colors that you can do in the shadow and highlight to create a visual change from light to dark, but let the black still chew up most of the space. And then think about if your object is soft, like fabric, where there would be very little light contrast, versus, or the planes would roll more softly into one another, I should say, versus if it's a hard surface like marine armor, where you need to then create what's known as a specular highlight or a
reflection,
a ding, a bling, right?
Yeah. A point of light that reflects,
and that makes a big difference on getting the black to look, I guess, if correct is the right term, because black can be tricky. You either leave it and it's too plain, like you said, and you lose the detail, or you highlight too much and now you've got not black anymore.
Where I feel like if you're doing black on like a cape, for example, you kind of don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Capes and cloth and things like that have texture in them. They've got bits that reflect light around a surface.
Yep.
Right? And so you need your like highlights to be way more soft.
Correct.
Way more subtle. You need to have weird spots reflect light that you wouldn't on like armor. Like, think about if you had a cape that had a flat surface, it bent down because there's a fold.
Yep.
There's a flat spot at the bottom. It bends back up, and there's another flat purpose. So
two hills in a valley.
Yeah, so you can see two hills where there are two folds in the cape, and then you have the valley in between. Well, you need to highlight that valley.
Yeah.
Normally on like an armor, it's like maybe you don't do that because it's so shadowy in there that not a lot of light
the angle sharp
is bouncing back out, right? But on cloth, it's like think of like a carpet. Right? There's fibers sticking up all over it.
Yeah.
Even while they're not that big on a cape, it's the same kind of thing. Everything, the whole texture is catching light. And so it's going to be that
but
volume.
It's diffused and soft, yeah.
Right. And so you can't have nice big sharp highlights on a cape. You'll make them more subtle and you'll make more of a gradient highlight on a cape. Yeah. Whereas that would not look right on a knee or on a shoulder pad. You can't have those big, subtle, smooth highlights. And then it's like, well, it's just a different color now as opposed to being like a highlight to a color.
Yeah, there could be volumes of information and tutorials on
like books volumes,
and light volumes.
But light volumes.
There could be volumes on how to paint black in a way that's interesting.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think it. A lot of people find that the easy part of the model or the skip over part. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there to make it interesting. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a few colors that people can like. No matter how many times you've been explained how to do it, you can't have an explanation enough times.
No.
Right? Black is one of those things. I think white is one of those things.
Oh yeah,
and which is crazy to me because those two seem like such diametrically opposed things. But painting them is not black and white.
It's not. It's not.
Black isn't black to make it look like black.
Right.
White isn't white to make it look like white.
Yeah.
A lot of times with white, you're painting with light blues, you're painting with yellows, you're painting with
grays.
You hardly use any actual white.
Yep.
When you're painting white.
Yeah. Because you have to be able to highlight it somewhere.
Yeah. So it's basically any of the colors whose highlights are themselves or the shadows are themselves. Like you can't use that color to make it look like it.
Nope.
We're talking yellow. We're talking red.
Yeah.
Those colors. There's no way to highlight red with red. Because
it's really difficult.
If you start making red brighter, you start making it pink, and it just doesn't work. Yeah,
you start making it orange or pink. So it's a tricky step. It also, we could do whole things on the primaries on white black and how to highlight and shadow them. Yeah. Blue, I guess, is one of the exceptions because
blue's so easy.
Blue's very versatile.
Yeah, blue is easy. Purple's easy. I take that back. Purple's a weird one too because purple's another color where it's hard to get a highlight color for a purple, especially when you want high contrast purple, because you end up being like you lean either into lilac, or you start
which is very desaturated,
or you start getting into like magenta, which ends up starting to look red.
Yeah.
So keeping something purple and staying purple is actually a little bit difficult.
Yep. And so what's funny is on that we've got a couple of colors in the base Chimera set. Mm-hmm. That seemingly have no difference when you look at the bottles and then you actually pour the drop on your wet palette. And it's because there are two phthalo blues. One is phthalo blue red shade, it's called, and one is phthalo blue green shade.
It doesn't make any sense. It's blue. How's it red?
Yeah. And so you put it on the palette and you really, I've looked at them enough where I can, but there's not much of a difference looking at them. And it's another one of those that based on what you mix with it, now it shows up very different. And it shows the versatility again of blue and how hard it can be to highlight one of them compared to the other. Because it was like in that same set, there's also a warm yellow and a cold yellow. Well, the warm yellow is traditional, almost primary yellow. The cold yellow is a little bit closer to, not quite, but a little closer to an ice yellow or a Dorn yellow from another brand. So it's got a lot of white in it. When you mix it with one of them, it turns it very green. You mix it with another one, and it just makes it a lighter blue. It's really interesting to watch how that works. But anyway, all this color theory stuff with things that should seem simple, you can do a lot to make them visually so much more interesting with just the right approach, a little practice. And it's hard to talk about, but we'll get some
So as you can see here, I'm holding up.
As you can look at my palette right next to me.
Yeah, exactly. So look out for videos. I mean, we're going to try to do something with that, I think. And we'll get some videos maybe will be coming out that we'll make to demonstrate some of that stuff.
Otherwise, next weekend we'll have our show, and then I'll be at Nova after that.
We're going to have Nova, which will be exciting to see what happens with that. And like you said, another preview coming up at Essen Spiel, which is so cool. Like, how did we forget about that one?
Well, and LVO's in October.
And LVO. I know, like, we were listing them off last week of like, well, what's coming up? We forgot about Essen, of course.
Yeah.
It's.
I don't know if they're going to do a preview event at Essen, but they will do Golden Demon.
Golden Demon's there. They've got to, right?
I don't know. So Essen is not a miniatures convention. It's Europe's version of Gen Con.
Yeah.
They just happen to have Golden Demon there.
Maybe there'll be a preview event online that'll coincide with it or something.
Might be. We can probably bank on LVO having one though.
Yeah.
So again, you're looking at less than 2 months after this next one. There's going to be another one. So that's ramping that up for them too.
I'm just going to sleep until then.
That'd be a lot easier. But you know what helps put you to sleep is just like a nice heavy meal.
Yeah, I could eat.
Okay.
Thanks for joining. We hope you enjoyed. Follow us for more of our weekly episodes on YouTube podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean. You can follow myself and Llama on Instagram. We are at Llama Paints Minis and Hyena Paints Minis. Music provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.